Welcome to This Week in Leadership Research, Episode 10. This week, let's talk about leaders' intuition. I'll try to answer a question: when to trust our intuition? This is the question posed in an article titled Leader Intuition, Good or Bad for Multi-Team System Performance, the Roles of Information Load and Introversion. The article was published in Group and Organization Management in 2022. The link of the article is in the description of this video. Let's first define intuition. Intuition refers to an affectively charged judgment that is formed via fast, non-conscious, and holistic associations. By definition, intuition is unconscious. When we make intuitive decisions, it is difficult for us to articulate how we reach the decisions. There are two types of intuition. The first type of intuition is past-focused. This type of intuition involves a pattern matching process whereby decision makers quickly assess their situation and compare it with situations they've encountered repeatedly in the past. This type of intuition relies heavily on the pool of domain-specific knowledge stored in memory. That domain-specific knowledge is also called expertise, that is developed through repeated training and practice. For example, after we spend 10,000 hours in practicing a particular task, we intuitively know when something is not right, even though we may not be able to articulate it. Chess players, firefighters, neonatal nurses, and emergency room surgeons all have strong intuition shaped by many years of repeated training and practices. The second type of intuition is present-focused information integration and divergent thinking. To have this type of intuition, we don't necessarily need expertise or 10,000 hours of training and practice. The present-focused intuition is our ability to perceive novel connection and discover new possibilities. This type of intuition comes from a broad range of novel experiences acquired through means such as seeing, hearing, and reading. This type of intuition can sometimes be more effective for non-experts than experts, as they may be more likely to think divergently, that is, think outside the box. This is the type of intuition that researchers investigated in the article I introduced this week. The researchers developed a hypothesis that leaders' intuitive cognitive style is positively associated with team performance. Here, an intuitive cognitive style refers to consistencies in how people represent, organize, and process information. It was measured by a 5-item scale. Example items include: when I make a decision, I trust my inner feelings and reactions, and when I make decisions, I tend to rely on my intuition. Team performance was measured by points gained by 3,108 captains in the United States Air Force who participated in a 5-week leadership development course. They were randomly assigned to a 14-person multi-team system during the course and participated in the same task of a 3-hour computer-based simulation. Their performance was evaluated throughout the course and had implications for future job assignments and promotions, so they're motivated to perform well in the simulation training. To better understand the relationship between leaders' intuition and the team performance, the researchers also investigated the roles of 3 variables: information load, leaders' introversion, and coordination effectiveness. Information processing is defined as the gathering, interpreting, and synthesis of information. Leaders are required to process a large amount of information. In a high information load situation, leaders tend to lose perspective and have difficulty in identifying the relevance of cues. In this situation, intuition serves the leaders well. A high level of intuitive cognitive style enables a leader to quickly integrate information cues to translate complex situations into simplified and holistic models of reality. In a high information load situation, leaders don't have the luxury of meticulously use all available data to make data-driven, evidence-informed decisions. Making fast and automatic intuitive decisions could be more beneficial for team performance. As a result, the researchers hypothesized that the relationship between leaders' intuitive decision and the team performance is moderated by information load. That is, an intuitive style has a strong positive impact when leaders are in roles characterized by high information load relatively to low information load. In addition to information load, the researchers hypothesized that leaders' personality of introversion would moderate the relationship between leaders' intuitive decision and the team performance. Introversion is associated with an inward and reflective focus. Introverted leaders may be better at attending to more available information as they make intuitive decisions. Introverted leaders spend less time talking, but more time observing and listening to others. They may have a better grasp of information and integrate it, particularly when information processing demands are high. The researchers used a 10-item scale to measure leaders' introversion. Example items include, I don't talk a lot, and I keep in the background. To ensure a team performs well, a leader needs to be effective in coordination. Coordination refers to the process of orchestrating the sequence and the timing of interdependent actions. Effective coordination allows members of the system to manage interdependencies and integrate task input, making it a critical factor for team performance. To enable coordination, leaders must be able to assess the situation and provide information and understanding to others about how they are performing, what tasks they should be executing, and how they can adjust based on the current situation as well as the future. It is particularly important for leaders to be effective in coordination across multiple teams. The complexities of coordination are very cognitively demanding. If leaders are good at making intuitive decisions in high information load, they may be able to discover coordination opportunities that others may not take notice. They may intuitively know something in procedure or cross-team communication doesn't work and address it accordingly. As a result, researchers hypothesized that the relationship between leaders' intuitive decision and team performance is mediated by leaders' coordination effectiveness. What are the results? First, the leader's intuitive cognitive style in high information load positively influenced the team performance, especially if they were introverts. Second, when the information load is low, the leader's intuitive cognitive style had a negative impact on the team performance, especially for leaders low in introversion. Third, the leader's coordination effectiveness played a key mediating role in the relationship between leaders' intuitive decision and team performance. It means that the leader's intuitive cognitive style was positively associated with their coordination effectiveness, which influenced the team performance. How to apply the findings of this article to leadership practices? Leaders' intuition doesn't work well under all conditions. Our intuitive decision has a better chance to improve team performance when we are under high information load and when we are introverts. To judge a leader's decision quality, we may need to give more leeway to leaders when they are forced to make decisions with a high demand of information processing. On the other hand, when the demand of information processing is low and when we are extroverts, we may want to take time to make evidence-informed decisions instead of relying heavily on our gut feelings. The findings of this article also suggest the value of introversion in leaders' intuitive decision-making. Most literature on trait theory of leadership indicates a positive relationship between extroversion and leadership effectiveness. Here, we know that extroverted leaders may need to be more cautious when making intuitive decisions with a high information load. In this situation, their personality of extroversion may work against their intuitive decision-making. If you're a researcher, I hope the article I introduced today can offer some inspirations for your research. If you are a leader or aspire to be a leader, I hope this article can guide you in your leadership practices. Stay open-minded, get inspired, and never stop improving your leadership skills. I'll see you next week in This Week in Leadership Research.